Hi everybody, it's me, it's Michael, and today I'm going to be doing kind of a sequel video to my last video, or at least the last video at the time of filming this. I don't know the exact order because my next video is definitely going to be high priority as soon as that can happen. I went to SIGGRAPH 2019 in LA, and I'm very excited to talk about it. Look, yeah, I got my student volunteer shirt. It says student volunteer, ask me, and it's like Dreamworks, so that's like all fun and good. And then I have an awesome like SIGGRAPH like hoodie. It's like a thin one, it has the logo at the back. I love jackets like this, so the fact that this is like the one they had, absolute perfection. So I was like, I have to get this. So I got this on day one, and they sold out like day one or like the morning of day two. Either way, like I heard they sold out like immediately, and I was like, well, thank goodness I bought mine. Well, I don't really know where to get started, so I just have a bunch of like videos and clips that I recorded like day I got there in LA in the airport and stuff. So here's those. Bad transitions. This video is just gonna be a chill video of me talking about one of the best experiences in my life. So roll that.
So upon running through this airport, trying to get to this other place on my layover before it flies away off without me, it really did just hit me. I'm here alone. I'm just like running around alone with all my stuff. That's crazy. So I made it to LA. It was insanely easy to go through security, so I kind of wish I brought my camera, but you know what, I didn't, and whatever, I can just deal with this. I have 3 gigs left, so hopefully don't run out of that. Every once in a while I like walk over to the arrivals thing and just look for flights. Will it be this one? Probably not. Bag claim 5 and 6. It's very specific, but I just kind of randomly ended up at. But I flew alone. I went to the East time zone to the Pacific time zone, like completely alone, and it went great. It was super simple and easy, and like, oh wow, traveling alone is crazy empowering, sort of, and freeing, I don't know. Okay, so now I feel like a fool lapping that area over there, because apparently they're across the street in Terminal 1. So now we're headed to Terminal 1. So I'm going like the opposite way as I was just going, but the sign's pointing me this way, so I'm just following the signs at this point. Better than I do. Let's go across this place in LAX. LA. I'm here. So it turns out I was following the wrong sign, but that's okay, because I have all the time in the world. And the nice gentleman at the desk was like, oh, you turn left for here, and you go right over there. So we're all good. We're all good. Okay, if everything is correct, then Terminal 1 is right there, and my friends are right across those doors. This is exciting. There's Terminal 1. Now I just have to play Frogger to get across the street. Let's go. Well, that was an easy game of Frogger. Now it's time for the easier one. Terminal 1, we made it, lads.
And we're done with that. That's fun. I also got a ton of like merch and stuff. Just like from the studios or companies or whatever. So I guess I'll show that and then like talk about it. This is like the locator thing for student volunteers. This was a lifesaver because it has maps and stuff at the back. So it's like, oh yeah, that room's over there. I know everything there is to know about all this stuff. So please ask me all your questions. I'm not kind of learning this as I go. So here's the maps. It has like an entire schedule of like 90% of everything. There are some exclusive things. Like there was one thing that was exclusive that I had to guard. So I didn't exactly know what it was by the title. I was just kind of like halfway through the event, they were just like, okay, let people in if they're signed on this list, and if they're not, you're gonna have to push them away. And I was like, okay. So yeah, some of it is a little bit scarier if you don't exactly know everything, but as you can tell, mine's like super... I had this in my pocket the entire time, like flipping it out. I like have a bunch of notes and stuff in it. I would go like deeper into it, or I wish I could have. Like I would have had like tabs like of things I want to go to, like things I'm supervising or whatever, and then like little post-it notes. I wish I could have color-coded it. That would have been great. Next year though. Next year. So there's that. that's fun. I guess the first thing that they kind of gave us, our lanyard. It has like my name and info about stuff. So there's my name and some info that I'm comfortable with giving out because a lot of it's very personal. We also had ribbons that they gave us. The first one, first time student volunteer, because obviously I'm a first time student volunteer. Second one is Inclusion Matters. I think they gave that off at an early panel, but then they started giving it away to a bunch of the volunteers because a few of the team leaders who had a bunch of extras was like, hey, these are important, let's give them out. He, him, my pronouns, and then education is the movement from darkness to light. And they also had a ton of pins. Pins everywhere, pins galore. A lot of these are from, like, there's an app where you can play a game. It's like Pokemon Go. You go collect little creatures and they give you pins for it. Like, one of them's like, collect all of them, or go to a certain event where they had like a special one, or collect 5 or whatever. I don't think they actually had an all of them pin, which is weird. Disney gave us some Frozen 2 pins. There were some basic ones that were just like, you know, the just basic SIGGRAPH. SIGGRAPH Asia for this year's Asia conference. I think it's in Australia in November. Just the 2019 pin, 2020 pin for next year's one. Just a bunch of stuff like that. I have a ton more pins. Also got this from the airport when I was like, where? My friends are in a different terminal because they landed there. But, you know, you already got that from the backstory. And then I also got a bunch of stickers that I put on the back of my phone case for SIGGRAPH 2020 next year, which is in Washington, D.C. I'm going to try to be there, so if you can be there as well. I have a bunch of stuff right here, so I guess I will slowly go into it. This was a bag from SCAD, you know, the Savannah College of Art and Design that I don't go to, but they give their bags out, and I really love the aesthetic of this bag. Like, I love how it looks, love how it feels. Definitely going to be using this a lot this semester. Disney gave out, here's another bag. It's just a Wreck-It Ralph 2 bag, so that was fun. Here's this. They gave it out as well. Not Disney, but you know, Anthem. I was told to hold on to this. A bunch of this stuff, by the way, this is not all just for me. This is for my SIGGRAPH chapter at school, which I'm a part of. I'm a historian, and you might have heard. I'm really excited about it. So, like, a bunch of this, like, I'm, like, all these coasters. They're not all mine. I'm just kind of holding on to them because I had a bunch of extra space. And people were like, hey, can you hold on to this? And I was like, okay, sure, let's do it. Like, Days Gone poster, or coaster, close word. For my chapter, they're all gonna love it. A bunch of postcards for, next year's conference. There are a bunch of different ones, which is in Washington, D.C. I'm gonna be there. If you can be there, that'd be awesome. PlayStation dongle has a bunch of different chargers, a USB, a USB-C, micro USB, and a lightning port, you know, all the big ones. I'll just start, some of these like kind of go into a job, but this one is for my last 2 jobs. Anyway, so the first day, I just have so much that I need to say. I love this so much. This video is going to be long, and my camera's about to die, which is unfortunate, because this is like the only time I can record. But you know what? I'm just going to go for it, and when it dies, and I'll record the rest later. We got there a few days before the conference started to just chill out and explore and like get ourselves settled before the conference itself started. But the day before the conference technically started, one of my friends and I were like, you know what? Let's go, because if we go, maybe they'll be like, hey, here's a job. Because like a few of our friends were already working their jobs, and so we were like, hey, we could go and just see if we can help out. And if worse comes to worse, then we know where the convention center is, because it was in the LA Convention Center. So we went, and they were like, oh, help is awesome. And so we were like, yeah, we could help out. There was this person, and he like went up and got us like little badges. It was like that, except like they didn't have our names or anything on them. It was just to tell like the guards and stuff that we were okay to be there. So our first job, my friend and I, were to like fold clothing. A lot of it was these jackets that we were folding up because they were all in their boxes unopened and everything. So we were like, okay, we got to open these up, fold them in the right way, and then put them in a certain order and everything. So we did that for a few hours. And that was a few hours. Everybody else was like tired and complaining. I was super pumped. Like, I was really excited. Like, my friends, I made friends with them. Like, some of those friends were people I talked to like through the remainder of the conference. I was like, yes, it was just so energizing. I was like, yeah, I'm like talking to these people, because like the first day I was like, I'm nervous, and then that first meeting we were just like, okay, I'm just gonna push myself and do it, and we'll see what happens. So I did it, and it paid off. Like, it paid off so well. Yeah, so that was the first day. It was just a few hours of folding, and then just kind of organizing, because they also gave us like little SIGGRAPH bags, and it was just like a bunch of like basic stuff. Like, here's a map, here's just like an advertisement for next year's conference. I was ready. I was like, I want to go tomorrow. I can't wait. I want to go there super early, which was good because we went there like super early each day. Like, we left at like 6:30 to get there. So we got there by like 7:30 every single day. So that was awesome because I got to be there the entire time. There was none of this, we're getting here at 12:30 because our shift starts at 1 nonsense. We were there all day to explore and have fun. It was so good. So where am I going next? The first day, I had a few shifts. The busiest day was my first day. So my first shift, I had to stand in front of a room. There was like a panel going on. I had to stand in front and make sure that people, there was a few different types of badges. I had to make sure that the right types of badges got into the room. And another job was to count how many people went in. A few of us swapped jobs like halfway through just because we were like, let's try the other thing out. So yeah, I made a few friends with some of my coworkers. I counted them all up. There wasn't really anybody this shift that I had to like turn away, but there was like one person that was kind of persistent who was like, hey, I think I got the right thing for this. And we were like, no, it's not that. So he kind of like called someone else up, and he was just like trying to make sure we were like, oh, well, you're not allowed. Sorry, fam. If you want to go in, you got to buy the right one, and you could go buy it over there at the registration center. This is my first job I've made, first technically job. Like, this is my first job. I made friends. This is like awesome so far. This week was legitimately, it could be the best week of my life. Like, potentially, I am willing to say that. It's not confirmed, like, in my head yet, because I'm not too far away removed from it, but it has the potential to be that week for me. Anyway, my next shift was, I needed to, like, do surveys. They gave us tablets and stuff, and so we needed to go and, like, ask people, like, hey, do you want to take a survey of the conference? It'll help make it better for next year. This first shift was like an hour long, because it was like 2 hours long, but then they gave us like the half hour beforehand to discuss it, and then the half hour like at the end to also discuss it, like to tell us at the front, and then at the end to like give us our info. And it's like, okay, what can we do better next time for future survey givers and stuff like that. Basically survey for our survey. So yeah, that one was a nerve-wracking one for me, because I had to like go up and like talk to people and be like, hey, I know you're busy, but can you do this survey? Which is why the lines were a blessing. Like, if you could find a line and just have people waiting there for like an hour for their event and be like, hey, do you guys want to kill some time and help us out at the same time? So that was nice. I did it like, you start chaining them up, because then there's one or two people that are like, yeah, fine, I'll do it. And there's one person that's like completely not a part of their group, but he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? I'm waiting for this thing as well. And it's like, okay, you can take the survey as well. So over time, I don't think I got like massive great numbers, but still, like, I did pretty good. I did way better than I thought I would. And I was like, wow, I'm actually like fine with going up and talking to a bunch of random people now. Which is insane. The amount of character development that I just sped through not this last week, it was like a few weeks ago. But the amount of like character development that I just like sped through during this, like not even a week, it was like a 5-day period, and my dogs are barking. Guys, I have a very limited time to record this video. Please be chill. So yeah, that was fun. We didn't have any like prizes or whatever to give out to these people, so we were just like, hey, can you take the survey for out of the goodness of your hearts? And some people were like, yeah, let's do it, and some people were like, no, it's too early in the conference to tell what I want to be better, and I just don't feel like doing the time. We had orientation as well, which was like, because it was just, everything about this was super energizing to me. And I had that same shift at the end as well. Like, they were like, hey, you can do survey again, and I was like, okay. But that time, they gave us these badges, or these pins, which is like the SIGGRAPH 2020 pin that, whoa, the SIGGRAPH 2020 pin, I know it's not focusing, it's a joke, that I showed you on my lanyard. So we gave out a ton of those. A lot of people were like, I already have those, and so I was like, oh, dang, which was part of my critique. I was like, hey, if we had like exclusive pins, people would track us down, and you will get way more people doing surveys, which I think they'll do next year. This was the first year they did these surveys, so it's a little bit rusty. So I'm honored to be in the what is it? Hamsters? Lab rats, testing rats, something like that. What is it? I know it off the top. I don't know it off the top of my head, but like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? When teachers are like, hey, you guys will be my testers. When they don't know of anything. And it's like the one class and they're like, oh, we get to be the, cool. Anyway, that was me with this. Another one, my favorite shift, like a few of them were just like the making sure people like turn away. But my favorite shift was one of those. It was with Dreamworks though. There was a Dreamworks like session going on, which is where these sunglasses came from. In fact, multiple of these. This one's not actually Dreamworks, this one's SCAD, but yeah. This is my own personal pair of the Dreamworks ones, so I'll wear these while I talk about Dreamworks, because this was a lovely experience. This one sucks because I have another pair of glasses, so it's like, you know, you glasses wearers, you know. Anyway, so this shift was fantastic. I was just like there for a while. Like, it was a 3-hour standing in one spot. It wasn't even like a survey where I can walk around and talk to different people in the conference. So where it's like, hey, in this area, it's like I'm getting tired of standing still in this kind of general spot, so I can walk over there, energize myself a little bit, get a little bit of different surroundings, maybe get some people who don't know what the survey is and be like, hey, and explain that to them. This one I was not looking forward to. After like sitting there for half an hour, I was like, dang, this is what it's gonna be. I'm just gonna have to turn people away and maybe sometimes point them to the direction of the bathroom. But these Dreamworks people were so awesome. Like, part of the job was to scan people in. And then one of the Dreamworks workers was like doing that. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just stay here and take pictures of people by the Dreamworks sign, because a lot of people wanted to do that. So I did that. And then after a while, the Dreamworks people were just like really chill. One of them was like, hey, here's like a glass of water and here's like a granola bar if you ever get hungry and tired on the job. I know that standing there for 3 hours can be tiring. And I was like, yeah, that person's nice. That's cool. And then one of them, they had like an open mixer for part of the time that I was there. So they just opened the doors, and as long as you scan them in, like anybody can go in. You just had to scan them. With like, they had a badge, like on the badge you had a QR code and you could just scan that. So we did that, and then one of the workers kept on doing that, but then he was like, I'm gonna go like pick up food for some of my workers or for coworkers. And so he's like, can you do this for me? And I was like, okay. And then after I started like scanning people in, it got like way more into it, especially because it was an open mixer, so a lot more people were going in, and there was just music in there, and it's like you kind of like moving around, just talking to a few of the people walking by. They're like, what's this? It's like, oh, it's the Dreamworks open mixer so you can get like an internship or whatnot. This video is like already almost 20 minutes long. I have to get the lasagna out of the oven soon. But I have so much to talk about. This might have to be multiple parts, guys. But the Dreamworks, the workers were so good. Like, whoever's playlist that was playing, I was like, this is awesome. Like, I love all these songs. And then she was like, the person who put together the playlist was like 2 seats down. She was like, yeah, thanks. I worked on this. I'm glad you know that my camera's beeping at me right now. I just have so much to say. I love SIGGRAPH. Anyway, she started flossing, and I was like, you know what? I could just stand here, or I can just start flossing. And whenever I tell people this, they're always like, that's like not mature. And it's like, it's with the other Dreamworks people. Like, they were like, yeah, it was more interactive. And if I just stood there like, let me scan you. Okay, like, I don't understand why people were like upset at me. Did they think that I meant like teeth flossing? No, I meant dancing flossing. Anyway, I feel like I attracted more people in that way because I was just like chilling, having a good time. And they're like, "What's going on over here?" And I was like, "Just scan in. You can meet DreamWorks people and learn more about their own campus and stuff, and their own behind the scenes stuff." And everyone is happier about it. So yeah. And then they were like, "You know what? Take all these sunglasses." And I was like, "I will give those out to my my chapter at my school." So that's exciting. Yeah. I might have to make this multiple parts. Thanks for watching, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's been fun. I don't know when the next part will go up. Probably after I move back into school. I'm moving back in a few days. And yeah. But thanks so much for watching this first part. If any of you guys are interested in more, just like let me know. If you guys don't care at all, just let me know, and then I won't do more parts, I guess. But yeah, I'm not even at some of the best stuff, you guys. This week was so good. So good. Yeah, SIGGRAPH. If you can't go, go. As a student volunteer, we can hang out in the student volunteer office. Or if you can't go as a student volunteer and you're just in DC area, you can buy an attendee's pass and just go as an attendee, and you won't even have to like do any of the student volunteer stuff. So you get to see the future of the tech industry. Like there are so many cool things, and I see like some of this stuff on the news, and I was like, I was there guiding people to that stuff. Guys, if you can't tell how excited I am by now, it's so awesome. It's so good. I'm so excited. And also, I'm now an officer for my own school SIGGRAPH chapter. So this is the first time I've been an officer for my school SIGGRAPH chapter. So there's lots of stuff to look forward to, especially on this vlog and channel where I'll be giving you all the fun stories. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. So part 1's over, I guess. Part 2. There's some good stuff here. I'm looking at this stuff and it's giving me stories. I'm like, I want to tell these stories. I've been bad at the Dreamworks one, but I did floss with a Dreamworks employee and she was so nice. And she like remembered my name later when I was like, yeah, just letting you know you have good taste in music. Carly Rae Jepsen was on her playlist and I was like, yeah, of course I'm letting you know that's a good stuff. Good stuff. Guys, SIGGRAPH 2020. SIGGRAPH 2020! Washington, D.C., July 19th through the 23rd. Attend it. Go. If you're in the industry in any way, go. If you're not, go as an attendee. If you care about any of this stuff and you're a student, go as a student volunteer. You don't need to know anything before going in. You just need to know how to listen to instructions and don't be a jerk to random people who ask you where the bathroom is. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I love you. I even have like foreshadowing. Like,